Hi there, my name is Erin Scott and I'm here today to present session 2 of our SEAL Professional Learning series. This session is focused on the very first stage of SEAL, which is described as the emergent stage. So for our session today, you require a number of different concrete resources and materials, and these are listed on the screen now. So if you could pause the video and just ensure before you start that you have these available. It would be really useful to have a set one between two, just so they're highly accessible and you can access what you need really quickly and easily when practicing all the practical tasks. And then restart the video when you're organised and ready to go. So the key aims of our session today is firstly to build your understanding of the emergent stage of SEAL. So what this looks like in terms of content, structure and progression across each domain. Using modelled examples, there'll be opportunities in your staff teams to practice and build your confidence with all of the different practical tasks and activities. This training will allow you to gain experience in using the concrete materials to support and develop learners' mathematical understanding. And it will also provide guidance around the specific SEAL vocabulary that you will encounter and come across within this stage. So the emergent stage is the very first stage of SEAL, and it's described as stage 0. So this is the red planner, it's a single-sided planner, and again it has 6 different domains that we're going to come on and discuss in a little minute. But for the emergent stage, you're working with the number range of 0 to 20 for the first domain. And then for all other domains within this stage, you're working in the number range of 0 to 10. So if a kind of learner was on track with their kind of numeracy and mathematics skills, you might see that learners were kind of managing some of these skills and tasks even pre-nursery and then into nursery. But we know that we might be working with a lot of learners either throughout primary school or even into secondary school that maybe still have gaps in their learning at different aspects of the emergent stage. So the first domain within the emergent stage is number word sequences from 1 to 20. So within this column, we're going to explore forward number word sequences, backward number word sequences, exploring number word after, number word before, and really building learners' confidence with this. Domain 2 is all about numerals to 10. It's about learners developing their understanding of identifying, recognising, being able to sequence and order numbers within that range. Domain 3 is counting visible items. So this is where our double-sided counters really come into their own, and we're going to start to use these to build learners' ability to count groups of objects. Domain 4 is coming on to spatial patterns. So this is us looking at different types of dot patterns, from domino patterns to random array patterns to pairs patterns, and really thinking about those subitizing skills that we discussed in our introduction session. Then Domain 5 is coming on to explore finger patterns with learners and how learners can build and break numbers using finger patterns. And then Domain 6 is all about temporal patterns and sequences. So this is using sound, this is using different types of noise to support learners' development and their early number skills. So it's important to consider what you might observe and notice in a learner that's working at this stage. So the first thing you might identify is that the learner might not accurately know the forward number word sequence from 1 to 10 or beyond. They might either repeat a number, they might miss a number out. So that's really important to observe and pick up on, and just to notice what do they do. You might find that the learner is not yet able to count a collection of counters accurately. So they might either omit some, they might double count some, but really again, observe their strategy and notice what they do. They might know the number word, but unable to coordinate the number word with each counter and have that accurate coordination of timing. So again, something important to consider. They might also really struggle with knowing the immediate number word after a given number. So if you said, what is the number after 6? They might instantly struggle to know that that's 7. So that's something to be aware of and to pick up on. Other things you might observe with a learner working at this stage might be a difficulty with backward number word sequences, so that backwards counting.
And backwards counting, learners definitely struggle with more than forwards counting, but that's something just to be mindful of and pick up on. Again, noticing, do they miss out numbers? Do they repeat a number? Those kind of things. They might also have challenges with if you ask them, what is the number before another number? So for example, what is the number before 6? They might struggle to instantly know that that is 5. So again, something really important to pick up on. Coming now on to think about patterns. They might be able to recognise some domino patterns or some random array patterns or dice patterns, but they might not be able just to know instantly what it is. So again, that's the impact on their subitizing skills. They might want to individually count the dots, so that's something that's really important to pick up on, rather than being able to instantly look at a pattern and tell you whether that's, say, 4 or 5 dots. So just being really mindful of these things, again, is going to dictate which level of skill the learner is going to be starting at.
So we're now going to come on and start the very practical part of our training session today. So using the modelled examples video for the emergent stage, watch the tasks being demonstrated for domain 1. Then pause the video and practice these with a partner or with a small group in your own school or establishment, making sure that one person's acting as the learner, the other person's acting as the instructor, and then change roles as you're having a shot and practicing. Once you've finished that for domain 1, restart the modelled examples video and repeat for all the other domains, pausing after each domain and having a practice with a partner. Once you've finished all the practical tasks and covered all the domains, please return to this video for our short reflection task at the end. So thank you very much for completing the practical tasks and working through all those domains with a partner. I hope you found the modelled example videos useful, and I really hope it's helped develop your understanding of the emergent level. So what I would like you to do now is just have a little think around what have been some of your key takeaways from session 2 today. Maybe make a note of these, maybe write them down somewhere that's accessible, ready for our next training session. Has this training raised any questions? Is there any kind of thoughts, reflections, anything you're now wondering about having undertaken the training today? And it might be really nice just to have a final wee chat as a staff team before proceeding to session 3 on the perceptual stage. Thank you very much for your time today and for your effort and contributions.